Hello my lovely Scoobs, it's History here. Now, I have had this idea for a very long time, and especially with the finale of Ninjago Crystallized airing at the end of last month, with the new Ninjago 2023 season in the works, I thought, hey, why don't we see if people like this idea? If you follow me on Instagram, you know what you're getting into, and if you don't, you totally should, at history_girl989. Shameless plugging. But there's been a lot of theories on what this new season will be, and lots of people have said it will focus on a new group of ninja, and this video concept is an idea I've heard floating around the community. So, may I present, what if the 2023 Ninjago season focuses on the current ninjas' kids? In this video, I'm going to include 3 ship kids, and these ones are the most likely to happen. If this video does well, then I will do other ship kids. There's one ship that isn't included in this video that I would really like to draw, and I'm really excited to draw. So if you guys can get this video to 6 likes, it's very low target, so it should be achievable, especially with the fact I'm quite new channel. I will make another part including more ships, and I may leave my comments open if you guys can be respectful, which I'm sure you can do, to suggest ships for the next video. Also, let me set some ground rules for this. Okay, I will not draw any toxic ships, especially Lloyd ships. I do have a plan for Lloyd that if I make this a series, I will reveal in the future. Please no ship discourse, just be respectful, and even though I haven't included any in this video, I will obviously include LGBTQ+ ships, but I won't comment on character sexualities or gender identity, okay? And now let's get into the video. So obviously I had to start with my favourite ship, my OTP, and that is Jaya. I love these two with all my heart, so I had to start by making their kids. And yes, kids plural, because I could just see them having twins. I could just imagine the chaos that twins come with happening to these two, and it seems so typical and so likely to happen to Jaya and Nia. Also, for some reason, I filmed a lot more of me drawing the girl, I'll reveal their names at the end of their little segment, than their son. But I think that's because she was so hard to draw for some reason. Now, they are fraternal twins though, and honestly, if you looked at them, you would not believe they are twins, but I assure you, they are. Now, I think these two will have a pretty normal childhood. I mean, as normal as you can get with having former ninja as parents. And obviously, Jay and Nia would have been over the fucking moon to have kids, let alone twins. So yeah, they definitely had a very happy family and childhood. Also, I think Nia would have been a lot happier to have twins because of her upbringing and how her parents weren't there and how her had to raise her, so it may have given her a bit of comfort, I guess. That's just a headcanon. Now, I think how elemental power works in Ninjago is the oldest child will inherit the father's element, and the younger sibling will inherit the mother's power, but we only have one instance of this. Kinda. So I may be wrong, but that's just what I went with. So their son inherited the element of lightning, and their daughter inherited the element of water. And yes, I do know the ninja lost their powers at the end of Crystallized, and Nia's weren't completely back yet. I think the way they'd get into ninja-ring, if that's a word, was they'd all be hanging out and going on an adventure. They found the golden dragon, or whatever the thing was at the end of it. Was it a golden dragon or not? I don't even know what it's called. And end up inheriting their parents' powers because the elemental power can detect its next toes. I don't know. So they weren't born with them, but they still inherited them. I'm just trying to go along with the lore here. Please spare me. Okay, that's about the lore, more about the kids. So, just some trivia. Their son is 5 minutes older than their daughter, and she's a lot more like her dad than he's more like his mum. They also really love baking. The twins definitely showed an interest, and the family definitely have bake-a-thons because of being very supportive parents, and also that's really adorable. It's just a cute bonding thing the twins definitely do together. And even when they've moved into the monastery, they always keep on doing that. The daughter definitely helps out her parents with inventing and fixing things up, probably for Zane and Pixel, who would have stayed on as ninja, but also themselves. I don't think that their son would have been so interested in it, and instead got quite into music and had a dream of having his own band, as well as being quite a tech wizard. He also just generally acts like a more chill version of Nia, but both of them definitely inherited the Smith anger issues, trademark, especially the daughter. Also, I feel like their daughter would definitely take after her dad a lot more and end up probably being a comic relief character, which, as a J lover, I would also adore. And here's Sydney and Sophia finished. And oh my god, I love them so much. I couldn't add as much to them as I did the other characters because there's 2 of them. But yeah, here you guys go. Here's the potential Jaya children. Lego, please hire me. Now time for the next child, which is again another favourite of mine, Pixel and Zane. I know what you're thinking, but history! You said they stayed on as ninja and they're both ninjroids. you got yourself in a real predicament here. Let me explain. So these two would definitely stay on as ninja, that's just something I could see, and Samurai X in Pixel's case, but obviously with all the other ninja retired, it probably became hard for them and they needed a bit of help. So they created a ninjroid like them to help out, but this ninjroid treated them like parents, and eventually they just took to the role, raising him as their own, and teaching him to accept himself and his role as part of their little team. He was definitely raised as a fighter, so is the most experienced of the team, being that he's been fighting all his life. Obviously, he inherited the element of ice from his dad, but even though he's experienced, he has no clue what he's doing when it comes to elemental power. He also is probably a very mysterious, shy character, very introverted, but he still loves his mum and dad and will jump to help them or just be with them in any way because, like I said, he took to them as parents and Zane and Pixel just accepted their role, so clearly he has a deep connection to them, especially being that they're all androids like him. So, having been a fighter for a long time, he's definitely seen things and experienced some traumatic events in his childhood. Hopefully not Zane sacrificing himself again, because maybe having a kid would give him a self-preservation. For fuck's sake, Zane, stop dying on us! But after a mission that may have caused a bit of distress, Zane and Pixel would have definitely been very comforting and sweet and look after him like the dedicated little sweethearts they are. He also really doesn't like being reminded he's not human. He tends to feel emotions quite strongly, a bit like his parents, and he feels just so human, and being reminded he isn't can upset him a bit. His parents tried to get him to be happy with who he is and the fact he's an android, but even though he finds comfort in them, it's still quite a big issue for him. He is also quite fond of archery and practices quite often for fun, and it is his preferred weapon in combat. Runing is also probably a hobby, just somewhere he can escape and relax. And here is Alexander, although Alex for short. I think he turned out great, but I literally just noticed the Ninjago on his trousers is wrong because I had to change his name. So if any of you want to figure out what I originally named him, go ahead, I don't mind. Also, another little detail, Zane and Pixel probably named him something practical, but he just chose the name Alexander and it stuck, so here he is in all his glory. And finally, last but not least, the Skyler child. Now, I included Skyler because when I initially had the idea, I was like, okay, but they're the most likely to end up together. But Skyler rejected Kai. What? Are they together or not? Like, I need answers. And judging by the whole previous episode as a whole, I'm still super unsure if they will end up a couple or will Kai end up with a certain someone else, but I thought that certain someone else was still really likely, but not as likely as Skyler, so, you know, that's why I included them. The ship with a certain someone else is being saved for part 2, that's the one I'm really excited about, but anyway, you can probably guess what that is. Anyway, potential Skyler child. So, Kai will probably end up moving in with Skyler and helping her around the noodle house, and their kid would 100% grow up helping around the noodle house, whether that be talking to customers, getting ingredients for her mum, or watching her cook, and Kai would definitely work as a waiter. Like, did you not see him in that episode? And as their daughter grows older, she ends up working as a waiter as a part-time job. But yeah, so their daughter definitely has a knack for cooking and likes cooking in general, and she cannot sit down and just relax for the life of her. She's very spontaneous and very extroverted. She had a good upbringing, and Kai and Skyler were probably very good parents, even though they would have been very busy themselves. She spent a lot of time with Kai as a child, since Skyler would have been working from dawn to dusk, so Kai would end up sitting with her, spending some good dad time. I didn't add this to her information thingy, but she probably would have been good at singing. Like, I can just see that. Maybe doing silly little performances when she was a child, and just ended up growing on her own. Now she prefers to do it in private, as it's an embarrassing thing to her if someone hears. Also, for some reason, I could see her playing netball and being really into that. Also, another spontaneous thing that probably keeps her active and on her feet. She would inherit the element of fire from her dad, but a lot of her other features she inherited from Skyler, such as her red hair. I'm not really sure what would happen to the element of amber. Maybe it finds another host. I'm not really sure. Now, this girl is the biggest flirt around, and that 100% runs in the family. But surprisingly didn't inherit the Smith anger issues from its number one holder. But anyway, she definitely has an extremely social personality, another reason why she can't just chill out and relax for once in her life, with a lot of friends, but most of them being from netball, but she's very open to new people as it is. And there she is, meet Ember. I know her backstory and description were very brief compared to the others, but yeah, and I think that'll be the end of the video. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, and if we get to 6, I will make a part 2 to this video, including other ships, and subscribe to be notified when that comes out, along with more amazing content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram to get updated with videos, art, and more. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!